Welcome back, Shalligators. Well, another day and another sobering piece of evidence that this Kim K, Pete Davidson thing it's really happening. So, and we have some physical proof in the form of not just them being out and about and holding hands, but a hickey, which is truly the stuff of nightmares, and yet here we are living it. So what are we going to talk about today? Because, you know, I feel like we've, at this point, done several videos on these two, and so I'm asking you guys on my Instagram, and one topic that came up is, how do you differentiate between a love bomber and a guy who's actually into you in a healthy, good way, right? And I know this is something we all struggle with because there truly is a lot of overlap. I mean, when a love bomber comes at you, you don't necessarily know in the moment, in the storm, that that's what's going on. It's sometimes only something you realize when it's too late. So we're going to read from an article by a therapist that I think is really good. And I try not to just read straight from an article, but the way she sums things up is just so fantastic. And we're going to talk about the dynamic between Pete and Kim. I guess they're calling him Keet. This name doesn't work. Okay, Benifer worked. Shamila does not work. Okay, Shaylee does not work either. Jaylee, it just, no. Benifer or like, what was another good couple name that worked? I don't know. They started with Benifer and it really just kind of can't get any better than that. So I'm so glad they're back together. So we're going to break all this down, but before we do, just want to remind you that you can shop my SLXO clothing line. We've got 2 drops, Rich and Sad and Evil is More Fun, in hoodies, crops, totes, crew necks. It's just fantastic. And if you spend over $100, you get a video shout out, a custom video from yours truly. You can also get a custom video direct from me on Cameo. We are doing a big Cameo sale this weekend, so head on over there. Cameo is a great gift if you need a question answered that way, like you need some advice or you want a pep talk for a friend or a birthday wish or anything like that. You can also chat with me one-on-one on my website, shallonlester.com. I do Instagram reviews, questions about anything. Plus you have an option to get a response in just 24 hours because I know sometimes you're just going through it. I got you, girl. Don't you worry about it. Okay. Keet. So they were spotted out in LA. She looked like a blacksmith. He looked, I mean, as deranged and manic as he always does and unhealthy. Like, it's one thing if you're going to dress like you just, you know, wandered out of a mental institution in 1993 and you're obsessed with Bart Simpson. Great. Can you maybe fucking shave? Like, or just trim it up? Can you get a good lineup going? Is that what a lineup is? Or is a lineup up here? I don't know. I'm not a boy. Can you just do that? Could you, I don't know, whiten your teeth? Maybe put in some Lumify eye drops or something? Like, can you just try? You can have this weirdo House of Drew type streetwear vibe. And I asked you guys, like, what's the topic here? And one of you said the funniest thing. You're like, how long was Kanye not fucking this woman? It's like, is she just like, you've got a penis and a jawline? Kanye kind of had neither. Come on, come one, come all. Like, it's really, really so true. So Pete was also sporting a hickey on his neck, and another one of you guys was like, just do a whole video on hickeys and whether it's okay to have them or it's okay or not to. Do not have a hickey. It's just like, I would so not be surprised if he's like, with like the vacuum cleaner, you know, like, again, he's an 11-year-old because I think he kind of is. Like, I'm going to make people think Kim did this. You know, I could totally see him doing that. Unfortunately, where Kim is at, like, we are off the reservation in terms of her predictable behavior, so maybe she did do it, I don't know. And a lot of you guys brought up that, you know, this seems to be an awfully convenient distraction from the Astroworld disaster. Okay. And, you know, Chloe was getting dragged, you know, she tweeted about, ostensibly, the Rittenhouse verdict. She said speechless and disgusting, and disgusted, something like that. And people were like, are you talking about Rittenhouse or are you talking about Astroworld? Because you haven't said anything about that. Where's all your sympathy for them? I just don't understand why, you know, this is such a patriarchy thing, right? If a woman does something bad, right? Let's say the roles reverse. Let's say this was like, you know, Kylie's a rapper and she had a festival or she had a Kylie beauty truck or something and it tipped over and blah, blah, blah. Would you expect Travis Scott to be making statements? Or like all of his family? Who the fuck even is his family? Like, why do we expect this from women? It's not so much that behind every great man, there's a great woman. Behind every guilty man, well, God damn it, there's an even more guilty woman because fuck women. And so she's the one who has to stand up and say something. I mean, not really him, because he's like kind of dumb, but her. And not just her, his girlfriend, not even his wife. It's not like she's Jackie Kennedy or, what's her name? Hillary Clinton, and she's like part of the machine. She's his fucking baby mama girlfriend. So like she has to stand up and do all this stuff, but also her sisters do? Come on. Give me a break. It costs nothing to send a tweet, thoughts and prayers. I mean, it's literally the least people can do and actually doesn't do anything. I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh, the Astroworld thing. So yeah, it's like, is Kim embarking on this romance to like take one for the team for Kylie? I mean, I would love my family. It's like, I'm not dating a lunatic that I'm not into for you. If she was going to do that, I think she would align herself with someone like Van Jones. We all kind of hoped she would end up with Van Jones. No? Just, okay. I don't think it would be Pete Davidson. Like, I don't think this is an incredible PR move. I don't know. Maybe it is. Like, it's interesting. We keep talking about it, so who knows? But I don't really think it has that much to do with Astroworld. But it does have, maybe that's like a bonus. But I don't think that's the entirety of the machinations here. I think, and is this not the most chilling prospect of all? I think she's just into him. Okay. All right. So let's talk about love bombers. Love bombing. And if you don't know what it is, it's kind of what it sounds like. This like, this carpet bomb blitzkrieg of just love and attention and intensity and connection. And so much of the time, we don't know we were love bombed until it's too late. And by too late, I mean we are annihilated by this narcissist. And yes, it is most often narcissists who do this. Not always, but very frequently. Why? Narcissists, and this is counterintuitive and it's hard to get a hold. And I personally don't think that this is like 100% of the time, but I think doctors say it's the majority of the time, so obviously they know. Narcissists actually don't have high self-esteem. They have low self-esteem. They have deep feelings of unworthiness. And so they're in this constant state of being a cold-blooded animal. What is that? We've talked about this. We've used this as an example. A cold-blooded animal, like a snake, can't regulate its own body temperature, right? It's reliant on the outside environment to keep itself alive. Warm-blooded animal. You know a great white shark is warm-blooded? That's why they're in all the oceans, because they can go anywhere. But a warm-blooded animal, a lion, a dog, a Shallon, we get it from inside. And self-esteem is much the same way. You have people who are cold-blooded animals, and ironically, we've talked about Kylie being like this. Like, she's not only changing her face with surgery, she's photoshopping, she's face tuning, and deleting. She would say herself, she would delete photos if she wasn't getting enough positive comments and then repost it until she was getting the validation she needed. That's pretty cold-blooded. But then you have other people who are warm-blooded and they're like, I don't give a fuck. This is what I'm posting. Hey, this is me. What is confidence? Confidence is not, they're going to like me. I know it. Confidence, real confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't. It's Kylie versus Rihanna, right? So, narcissists. They project confidence and, stability, and they're just like, I'm the life of the party. Everyone loves me, but really they're very empty inside. Now, I've talked that I'm a narcissist, and as I'm saying this, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I truly don't know. My friends and I, my one best friend and I, we would always say we're the most confident, unconfident person ever. Or we're the least confident person. It's like this weird mix. But then I have to wonder, is everyone like this? I don't know. It's kind of like how you feel about your parents. It's like, my mom is driving me crazy. And if one of your friends is like, I know your mom's insane. It's like, what the fuck did you say? Right? If I'm like, I am a hideous centaur of a woman, unlovable, disgusting woman. But then if someone you know is like, you are disgusting and unlovable. Am I? That's interesting. Like, I don't think so. So I don't know. I've never lived in someone else's body, so I don't know. So I want to read just a little bit from this article on narcissism. It's called All You Should Know About Narcissistic Love Bombing. It's by Darlene Lancer. She's a lawyer. She went to law school. She's JD and an LMFT, a licensed marriage and family therapist. This is interesting. Rather than confident, The narcissists actually fear they are undesirable. Their sense of self is determined by what others think, so they try to control what others think to feel better about themselves. Thus, love bombing is a means to seek attention, boost their ego, fulfill self-enhancement needs for sex, power, and control. When they're depressed, when they've suffered a loss, or they're disenchanted with their last conquest, they look for new narcissistic supplies. Many narcissists employ seduction, engage in game playing, and use relationships for self-enhancement. Dating is intense. It moves quickly. The attention can be dizzyingly exciting to the recipient. There's frequently excessive communication, reflecting the bomber's need for affirmation, usually by text or social media, where they can exercise more control at a distance. Wow. Now, it's true that when we find a healthy relationship, and you know what? You might not know this because you might not have found a healthy relationship yet. I mean, I hadn't until I met my husband, basically. And so I had just normalized all these narcissists, all these love bombers, all these toxic fuckboys. I'm like, well, this is just people. No. I mean, it's just bad people. It's just narcissists, yeah. But I was extrapolating this and projecting it towards all people in general. And it was only when I met a healthy person, I was like, oh my God, what? What have I permitted to happen all these years? So yeah, when you meet someone right, they are going to communicate a lot. The word there is excessively. They are going to want to get to know you and spend a lot of time with. Again, the word is excessively. What a love bomber will not permit is boundaries. The other thing they will not permit is flaws. What do I mean? Okay. I have a friend, and we're both dating here in Montana, and she met this guy, and it was like, it crossed my mind that he was love bombing her, but I mean, honestly, he just seemed really sweet. He came over, he made steak and lobster for her. I was like, that's really nice. And he traveled for work, so he wasn't here all the time to like, you know, be all up in her pieces, but they texted all day, and she's like, I love it, you know? It's nice, like I get to have my life, we text, whatever. But then one day she had a bad day. She just had a bad day, whatever. And she's like, I need a virtual hug today, because he was out of town. She's like, can you just like tell me something nice? I am just really going through it, and I just feel terrible about myself. Ghost for 2 days. And then he's like, oh, sorry, I was just so busy with work. When I get like this, I just go into a cave. He delivers fucking couches, okay? I'm not kidding you. He delivers couches. We talk about Cinnabon at the airport. Yo, at least you are talking about something that I am very much interested in. I am interested in Cinnabon. I'm not interested in like, I pick things up, I put them down. I pick things up, I put them down. Delivering couches. And this motherfucker literally said, this is the life I've chosen. Are you kidding? Are you fucking Charlemagne? Are you Alexander the Great? What are you talking about? Are you conquering Persia? Xerxes? What are you doing? Oh, but that was a significant shift, that when she was suddenly flawed, she was having a bad day, she was no longer on this pedestal of fantasy, perfect, amazing, blah, blah, blah. When she had actual needs that had to be met, his low self-esteem said, either I can't meet those because I am unlovable because my mom didn't love me. She didn't, you know, or whatever. And he disconnected. The word I want you to remember out of what I just said is or whatever. Why? It's not that I couldn't think of a reason why he behaved that way. It's because, girl, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Why can't my dog talk? Why? I could go around and around, ask him whatever question I want to. Cowboy, do you want this? What do you think of the Spanish invasion of 1695? Blah, blah, blah. I could ask him whatever question I wanted to. He's never going to answer me because he's maxed out. He can cock his little head and he can stomp his little white fudge paws, and that's it. Do I stay up at night wondering why? Why can't he talk? And what is it about me? I bet he talks to other people. Why would he talk to me? No, I'm just like, I don't know, man, he can't talk. And I keep on living my life. With guys, we don't do this. You have to look at people, though, like they're a talking dog. It doesn't matter why he's like this. Because even if you figure it out, Even if you come with like a crazy whiteboard full of like threads connecting everything from his past, it doesn't change anything. If it did, I would tell you, because I've done it. You know, I'm good at breaking these things down and reading like the psychological matrix of people. And I've gone to guys and I'm like, oh, I know why you are this way. It's your father and it's this and it's that and it's this. And they're like, get off my property. Like, they don't, it doesn't change anything. So I don't want you to get out of this video being like, oh, so a narcissist has low self-esteem. I just need to love him through it. I just need to tell him, you're good enough to support me. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to support me. I don't really want to teach people how to treat me. I'm not a rehab for broken idiot men, okay? I don't care to. I have too much going for me. I have too little time. My tits are too perky. I am too good in bed to spend my life explaining to a man why he's good enough to treat me well. What the fuck kind of backwards ass sentence is that? I believe in your ability to be nice. What? No. No. I want you to identify love bombers. I don't want you to try to fix them. Because you know what? I read this tweet the other day, or this meme. It's like, you want to fix this guy? Honey, there's 9 other women who are trying to fix him too. Don't be part of a construction crew. He doesn't want to get fixed. He doesn't want to be any different. Narcissists don't. Nowhere in this article is it like a narcissist genuinely wants to change. No, they don't. Maybe they don't have the ability. Who cares? Who fucking cares? They're not changing right now. We're going to keep reading. So there is some good news, right? Narcissists and love bombers target people who are high status and have highly valued qualities such as wealth, beauty, special talents, power, celebrity, or genius. We know, like, duh. I shouldn't have even read that because, like, no shit. So, like, look, I also don't want the takeaway to be like, I'm good enough to be love bombed by a narcissist. I don't want you. Because I do have to disagree with her a little bit on this. I think also narcissists target the weak. When they just need a hit, when they need that fix, I don't think they're too particular. When they just need attention and validation. And I think a lot of narcissistic men purposely go after girls with kind of low self-esteem because they're like, oh, like the me's, the you's, the Rihannas. We're going to look at people like that and be like, you run that fucking game somewhere else, dude. This is the life I've chosen. Okay. Narcissists idealize prospective partners to augment their own lack of self-esteem. Cold-blooded. The thinking is, if I can win over the admiration of this very attractive person, then I must be worthy. But as reality creeps into the relationship, they discover that their partner is inadequate or fear that their flawed empty self, the narcissist's empty self, will be revealed as expectations for emotional intimacy increase. Hey, I've had a bad day. I really need you to pull up and support me right now. The narcissist can't or won't achieve that. And so what do? They do the thing called leveling, where they either puff themselves up, that doesn't really happen here, or they cut the other person down so that they feel power over them. This is the life I've chosen. This self-aggrandizing language. I can't be there for you. I have a job. My time is more valuable than yours. My job, you couldn't possibly understand what it's like to deliver lazy boy recliners. They have the cup holders built in. Did you know that? I bet you didn't. Your job isn't important. Not as important as mine. That was intended to cut her down so that her needs don't matter, and it's fine if they don't get fulfilled because he is unable to fulfill them inherently. Or he's unwilling. Again, who gives a shit which one it is? Maybe Cowboy can talk. Maybe my dog is having, salons with philosophers and artists and luminaries of his day, and he's simply not inviting me. I don't know. But I operate under the assumption that it doesn't matter if he can't or won't talk. It's just not happening. And I'm not taking it personally or trying to change it or orienting my life around it. No. So what's truly so painful about a narcissist when they go through this shift, it's like everything that you're afraid is going to happen when you let the mask drop. You know, the mask that we all have and we should have to a degree when we're dating. It's like, Your house is always clean, right? You always look good. You're never on your period. You're never gassy. You never have, it's like everything is just completely perfect. But then it's like, I remember the first time my husband saw me cry, and I was really scared because historically, when that had happened, when I'd had a bad day, the narcissists I would typically date would be like, yikes. They'd be like, they're there. They're there. You know, it's just the least they could possibly do. And so I was used to being like, okay, if I show my true feelings, I'm going to get left. I mean, that's how it's gone. That's what the data is pointing to. So I would puff myself up into, ironically, more of a narcissist, right? Because I thought I can't be vulnerable. I can't be weak. I have to lead with my resume. I'm going to have the biggest dick in the room. I have to go for the joke. I have to prove how smart I am. I have to one-up people. Because if I'm just a little sweet and a little soft, that hasn't gone well for me. And so the first time my husband saw me cry, it's because I was helping this homeless lady, and she yelled at me and got very scary and weird. And I just like kind of melted down. That was the turning point in our relationship, but in a positive way. I mean, he was so there for me. He was such a rock. He said everything right. Like, he was just wonderful and perfect. He didn't hate that I had flaws. He loved them. And in fact, I remember when, oh, so sweet, when he asked my mom's permission to marry me. Really fucked that up. She's like, when did you know you loved Shallon? And that was one of the things he cited. He's like, because I just got to see the soft side of her. And I love that about her, that she was comfortable enough with me to open up to me like that. That's a quality person. So here's how you differentiate between a narcissist and a good dude, like a love bomber narcissist and a good dude. Be a little bit vulnerable. Maybe make it a false vulnerability. Oh, instead of waiting till you really are showing that true emotional underbelly and you are having a really bad day and you reach out with your shaky little sad paw and you're like, and they smack it away with their flaccid little ego. Maybe give them a test. Maybe give them a test. Make up a problem at work. Make up a fight with your friend. You don't have to come up with false tears and go the whole 9 yards, but just go a little bit in that direction. Say, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to get fired. Take away something that you might in the back of your mind worry that they're using you for. Clout, your parents' lake house, your sex. Hey, you know what? I've got to go through like some testing for some lady stuff. Like, I can't have sex for the next 3 weeks. Oh. No, that's fine. I don't care. Oh, you could probably just give me 1 million blowjobs. No, Kyle, I don't think so. No, I think we should maybe just cuddle and get to know each other. Okay, yeah. You'll find out real quick where that motherfucker stands, right? Why not give him a test? Quality guy won't care. He'll be like, all right, 3 weeks, who cares? Are you okay? Can I help you? Do you need me to go with you to the doctors? What's going on? That's what a quality dude would say. Another thing you do, put up some boundaries. When we meet someone, quality or love bomber or whatever, you know, there's that, I call it the boyfriend vortex. It's like, see you in 3 weeks, Kristen. Like, you just know you're not going to see your friend. They're all like in love and we do it. And it's just part of falling in love. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but there's not anything wrong with it as long as you pull out of it. And it usually happens in a few weeks, maybe at most a few months. Oh, my back is killing me. I'm sorry. But you're like, all right. I need to sleep in my own bed. I want to see my friends. I got to do my laundry. I can't be late for work one more time. You know, let's just like find a more easy, steady rhythm. Well, that's when a love bomber cuts and runs. They don't want an easy, steady rhythm. They want an overwhelmment so that you don't see their flaws and they don't see yours. They never want to come up for air. They want the honeymoon period forever. And in fact, the reason so many of you guys end up brokenhearted after meeting someone on a vacation, this is a huge question I get. I met a guy on vacation. It was the most amazing 3 days, 3 weeks, whatever. And I'm like thinking about how I can fly to Seattle and he can come and visit me for this break and blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for entrances. He's looking for exits. We get back on our own turf. I never hear from this dude again. Maybe a call, maybe an email here and there. And then it's like in the wind. Why? Well, they didn't have the juice to sustain that kind of intensity. And realistically, you probably didn't either. But maybe you were okay with it not being that intense. You were fine with transitioning into like, yeah, I would love to just sit and make dinner with you. I want you to meet my friends and come over for wine night and watch Grey's Anatomy and whatever. Like, you wanted something more normal. They might not have. And them leaving could be proof positive that this was a love bombing situation that maybe you didn't recognize because it was in this, other environment. It was in this vacation environment. But like, if they can't sustain it, if that facade cracks and it's back to real life, no thanks. No thanks. So put up some boundaries. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I love our day drinking all Sunday, but it's just fucking me up for the rest of the week. So Sundays are going to be my day. I'm going to get up and go to church. I'm going to meal prep. And then like we can have dinner on Monday night. Love bomber's not going to like that. But you need to see that. A quality person is going to be like, you know what? That sounds great. Because a quality guy is going to be interested in crafting that normalcy and crafting a relationship that has a better cadence and that isn't all rushed. He's also going to want to meal prep and do his laundry. He's going to have a life of his own. One thing I think we all need to do is check in with our body. Our body is its own like accelerometer, like its own emotional accelerometer. What do I mean? Being with a love bomber and being healthfully in love feels like you're in a car, right? It's like you're in a car and the windows are down and your hair is blowing and the sun's on your face and the best song is playing. You can smell the sea and you're like, that's healthy love. Love bomber love is, damn it, are we taking that curve really fast? Do you want to slow down? Whew, okay, no, we don't need to go that, it's fine. It's this, it's this feeling of anxiety of I'm in a car that is kind of out of control. Some people like that feeling. I don't. I hate roller coasters. I hate going too fast. I'm just not like that. I have a lot to live for, honey. And I'm just not a thrill seeker in that way. And so when I feel that in a relationship, it is just as nauseating and terrifying as if I'm at Six Flags. Not my thing. So we need to check in with ourselves. Like, do we feel overwhelmed? Do we feel anxious? If we can't talk to a guy for 3 hours every night when it's like, I am actually really tired and I can't keep getting 6 hours of sleep. Like, my work the next day is awful. If you put up that boundary, well, wow, okay, fine. Does he punish you? Are you not going to hear from him for 5 days? Is he going to be very aloof and distant? A healthy person wouldn't care because they will probably be in that same mindset too. An unhealthy person, the love bomber narcissist, when you put up a boundary, you are attacking their very personhood. What do we say about boundaries? The people who benefit from, no. The people who hate your boundaries are the ones who benefit from you having none at all. Now, benefit can mean all sorts of different things, right? Your boss does it, he benefits from you being like, I'll work every day of the week. Blah, blah, blah. He's not love bombing you, but it can come in many different forms. So in this case, the love bomber narcissist is benefiting from you not putting up boundaries because they're getting that incessant ego hit. They are able, therefore, to keep up this facade of you just being perfect. Now, a quality man will define perfection in a different way, in a more mature, complex way. You ever like meet those girls who are just like perfect and just like, my name's Bella and I'm from Greenwich and I have a Range Rover. Oh my gosh, my dad bought it. And you're just like, okay. They're just so perfect and they have long, thick hair. Perfect. And you maybe try to get to know them or they're in your circle and you realize beneath the surface, there's just more surface, right? And you're like, I have nothing to latch onto with this person. Like there's no depth. And then you have those friends who are like, I've got a yeast infection. Like they're just so raw and so open. And you're like, I like that bitch. Like there's something to connect to. It's the flaws that make our friendships. It's the flaws that are endearing about people, right? And a man knows this. Like that's what love is. That's what love is like the flaws. You're like, you drooling sleepy bitch. You are great. I love you. You're so bizarre. I love you, right? We say that about our dogs, about our siblings, about our friends, and about our lovers for sure. So a quality man is not going to define perfection as she always looks perfect. She never has a bad day. That's robots. That's a robotic situation. What kind of man wants a Stepford wife? A bad one. So let us read from the gospel once more. Stay connected to your body and your feelings. In the intensity of a new romance, question whether your excitement isn't really anxiety about rejection and uncertain hope about a rosy future. Do you feel free to be open and honest and set boundaries? Or are you walking on eggshells? Do you comply just to please your partner? In other words, can you be authentic and say no or express negative feelings? That usually takes time and trust. Often codependent people, because codependent people are very susceptible to narcissists, right? Yeah, we know. Often codependents think, I trust people until they give me a reason not to. Mature individuals know that trust must be earned. Love bombers lie, but it takes time to figure that out. The last point on how to differentiate between a narcissist and a quality dude. Slow. Now we can call a narcissist a love bomber. We can call them a fuckboy. We can call them a player. The devil takes many forms, right? And we're like, no, but he's not a narcissist. He's a fuckboy. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares, Cassidy? It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter, Hannah, because all roads are leading to the same place, right? So it doesn't matter. So a good way to separate the men from the boys, wait on sex as long as you can. Ugh, I know, like, not my strong suit. But listen to what this doc says. Rushing intimacy doesn't rush love, only our attachment. It's an attempt to gratify personal psychological needs. Mature daters won't use undue seduction, charm, or make premature promises or expressions of love. They take their time dating in order to assess whether someone will be a good long-term partner for them. And they won't want to disappoint or hurt them. Rushing sex doesn't rush love, it rushes attachment. One thing I found is like, it seems like once you sleep with a guy, it's kind of like the getting to know you phase ends. To a degree, I don't know, do you guys find that? I was talking about this with one of my friends. It's like, I feel like, you know, we talked a lot and told about our histories and whatever, blah, blah, for the first 4 dates. And then by date 5 when we slept together, it's like, it seemed like he had no more curiosity about me. And I think maybe that's because on some level, men conquer women through sex, but women conquer men through relationships. We conquer them through love. And so if he thinks, well, I've conquered her, you know, again, a quality guy is not going to end his curiosity once he's had the old in out. A shitty person would. And this guy turned out to be pretty shitty. So I'm like, well, and he turned out to be quite the narcissist. He wasn't love bombing. I don't even think he cared that much. But like, you know, but see, I can't call him a narcissist because I don't think he had low self-esteem at all. I don't. So it's like there's 2 different gradients of narcissism. Maybe that's just a standard man. Look at me. Look at me. Breaking down the why. It's hard not to get in our little Nancy Drew minds and get caught up with this. It's tough. So what does it have to do with Pete and Kim? Honestly, I don't care. Like, I don't fucking care about them. I think she's caught up with someone who's going to turn out to be very bad. We know he's got borderline personality disorder. And that is characterized by feelings of unworthiness. Not necessarily narcissism in the same way, but these 2 things skew from the same place, which is unlovability, attachment disorders. You know, BPD is an attachment disorder. Narcissism is more of a personality disorder. I mean, certainly it creates poor attachments, but, you know, it's like different lanes. But kind of all fruit from the same poison tree. And so if Kim proves herself to be not perfect, she has a bad day, the public opinion turns against them, he's getting hate, she shows up with no makeup, she's got to deal with a kid who's barfing all the time or has to put him on the back burner to study for the bar, what's he going to do? Is he going to shift? And is he going to start icing her out, doing all this stuff? Because what the love bomber does is they do that. They have that shift and they give love and then they take it away. And then you find yourself reaching because you have gotten addicted to this attention and this love because that's what it was designed to do, right? And then suddenly you're chasing them and suddenly you're codependent. Oh my God. Do you remember when you were like 13 and you're like, love is just so hard and I like Tanner and he doesn't like me back? Who knew it could get so complicated, right? I mean, who knew? I want to know your thoughts on Pete and Kim. Oh, do you think that they're heading for a shift? If you have dated a narcissist, when has that shift happened? Like, looking back, was there a precipitating event? Like a death in the family, you got fired, like you had a bad day, you gained weight, something. And you're like, that's when it all changed. I want to know your thoughts. We are going to be back. I'm going to do some videos this weekend for the holiday weekend. Not going to leave you high and dry, but I am going to take Thanksgiving off so I can eat and feel bad about myself. I love you, Shalligators. Mwah!